You're watching Vagabrothers, and this is the tiniest house in Great Britain.
Well, it's actually the smallest house, but it's pretty tiny.
Let's go! Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Woo. Let's go.
What's up, Vagabuddies? Welcome back. Day 2 in our exploration of Wales. We've left St. David's and we are driving north.
Today's gonna be a fun episode. We're gonna be exploring more of Welsh identity and culture by checking out its ancient roots, exploring one of the finest castles in the land, and then diving into the local food movement.
So we're gonna start things off here at Pentre-Ifan, which is kind of like the Stonehenge of Wales. Let's go.
From my two lips down to my shoe tips, gotta stay sweaty, can't lag with the movements. Like an action, cats get back relaxing and no longer have the passion. It's the stress of the rigmarole, weighing heavy on the human soul. When the tension and apprehension is always on the mind, you're confined and fenced in. Break loose, seize the moment.
Thousands of years ago, across Europe, there was a culture that originated in like the Germanic areas and spread out to the far corners of Europe, called the Celts. There's not a lot known about them, apart from the fact that the culture was still kind of around during the time of Rome. When Julius Caesar arrived in the British Isles, he was fighting off the Celts as well. But what is kind of fascinating to me is that this culture was so widespread, and there's still so little really known.
Come on. What's any man but a grain of sand, searching for the plan like Abraham? And we only have faith, not sight, so we wait for the day to be faced.
My name's Pete Crane. I'm a former archaeologist for the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park. We're at the burial chamber at Pentre-Ifan. This was the first ancient monument that was protected in Wales, so it's number one. It's only the upper end of society that seem to be being buried, and they're buried in these chambers. Pentre-Ifan probably had dry stone walling going up the sides of it. As you look at the monument now, all we've got is the major stones there. It was excavated in the past, but a long time ago, probably by treasure hunters. So basically, the grave had been robbed by the time that archaeologists got at it. And we know that a lot of the early stones at Stonehenge are coming from the Preseli Hills just behind us.
Stones from Stonehenge are from Wales?
The blue stones are from Wales. But
How many miles is it from here to Stonehenge?
I have no idea, but a long way if you're carrying a stone.
While we're here, it's worth mentioning the myth of King Arthur, who is a hero of unknown origins, but who a lot of people associate with Wales. What's most likely true is that he was a Romanized Celt, and the Welsh will evoke the story of King Arthur many times throughout their history as they repelled the next wave of invasion from England. So to learn more about the story of Wales and England, we're heading north to Conway Castle.
It is in there.
All right, well, a little change of events. Pulled over to take a nice shot, and the car is now stuck in mud. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get out. This is not good.
All right, guys, so we've driven a couple of hours north. We're officially in North Wales, and we're in the town of Conway, which is one of the best preserved medieval walled towns in all of Europe. And right now we are strolling along the city walls on our way to Conway Castle.
This is a symbol of a major point in the story of Wales because in the 1200s, Edward I came back from the Crusades and he was the King of England. He wanted to put down the Welsh rebellion once and for all. It was said that the Welsh were really easy to beat in a battle but hard to beat in a war. So to solve that, they basically went about creating some really imposing castles in what was known as the Ring of Iron. And that's why Wales has more castles than any other country in Europe. So these castles were built not so much to defend the occupants, but as to symbolize the presence of England and put down any rebellions that the Welsh might have against English rule.
Standing up here, it's really easy to put yourself in the shoes of a person, you know, almost 1,000 years ago. You've got the mountains in Snowdonia off in the distance with snow-covered peaks. You've got the ocean out behind us. And just over there is Conway Castle. So we're gonna continue walking along the city walls until we get into the castle itself.
Well, this has to be my favorite castle I think I've visited. It has the perfect balance between preservation and accessibility.
And ruin.
Yeah, it's just the right amount of ruin where it's intact, but it's kind of rustic.
Plus I love that you can wander like the whole thing. Every single tower is pretty much open and they have all the little circular staircases going up so you can really get lost in here. I would have to say though, like if you were living here back in the day and your role was like to guard the castle, what do you think you would do to pass the time?
Drink ale.
Obviously.
I mean, that's just me
apart from that.
personally. Back in the day, there would have been a lot of conflict here. I know that we said the castle was built in late 1280s. It took 4 years to build. It cost £15,000, and that was equivalent to 45 million pounds today.
45 trillion billion pounds.
So, thank you, Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
The point being that they built these castles fast, and this was only one of many castles being built at the same time. And in the 1400s, they had another rebellion. The Welsh rose up again.
And this place was actually captured through pretty tricky little maneuver. The local Welsh, almost like the Trojans and the Trojan horse, dressed up as carpenters, hawked themselves through the first gate, killed the second two guards, and then eventually captured the entire castle. They held out for about 6 months, I think, until they finally surrendered, and 9 of those guys were put to death.
Timeo Donius et Dona Ferentis.
And I don't know if any of you guys are movie buffs. I hope you are. This reminds me of the scene in Willow, George Lucas's sleeper classic. And Mad Mardigan, played by Val Kilmer, battles off all of those weird little like evil creature things in the abandoned castle. I walked in here and I was like, Willow! Every time we come to the UK, we dork out so hard on history because this country is just so chock-a-block full of amazing historical stories. Every town you go to has 1,000+ years of history and some really interesting turn of events that shaped the country that the UK is today. So bear with us if you're not too into history. We are going to be doing a lot of other stuff, but when we come to places like this, we tend to get pretty excited.
Know what else to get excited about?
What?
Lunch. So Conway is known for its mussels, which are caught right here in the estuary. So we're going to head over to the Castle Hotel and try to find some local seafood for lunch.
For lunch, we've ordered local Conway mussels, which are gonna come in like a cream white wine sauce.
These are so good. So Conway mussels are really good because they have the perfect mixture of salt water and fresh water in this estuary. This is where a river meets the sea. We saw some fishermen going for them right underneath the castle, and they're kind of unloaded here on the quay and then served fresh for this restaurant.
Thank you.
It's definitely time for a coffee. This is such a pretty little town though, honestly. It's got all these colorful little buildings, castle, walls, good food, good beer, and a coffee and a bookshop. Should we go in?
It's a PLT, pretty little town.
Mark likes making acronyms and abbreviations. Coffee bookshop.
Well, that was delicious. It's been a really cool day here in Conway and learning a little bit more about the roots of Welsh culture and how it survives to this day.
Not to mention exploring ruined castles, eating amazing seafood, and getting a little bit of our minimalist inspiration going with the smallest house in the UK.
Hashtag tiny house.
Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you have not already, and stay tuned for the rest of the series.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to the mountains up here, Snowdonia. Anyways, in the meantime, stay curious, keep exploring, and we'll see you guys on the road.
Peace!